Known for the stormy skies that frequent the territories throughout the year,
I hope I don't poop in my pants. That's all I gotta say.
It's also a region once defined by the rise of an angsty subculture.
So tonight is controversy.
And known around the globe as a beacon of technological innovation.
In 1990, I used to be a big fan of Twin Peaks, the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Barb Pexa is taking you on this once-in-a-lifetime journey. Whether finding your next home, your favorite venue, or simply living your American dream, you can do it in the Pacific Northwest. From the Puget Sound to the Cascade Mountains to the booming metropolis of Seattle, there's a little something for everyone.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about this show? It's totally unscripted.
Hey Barb.
Hey Diane, thanks for coming.
It is freezing.
I'm sure it's a little bit colder than San Diego, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
I don't know if I have enough warm or close on me, but we'll do what we can, right?
We'll just do our best. I thought we'd start here. This is here the home of the Snoqualmie Falls at the Salish Lodge. It's one of the most visited spots in all of the greater Seattle area. And one of my favorites is back in 1990, I used to be a big fan of Twin Peaks, the show.
Yeah, that's right.
It's gotten a great cult following, and I think it's really cool, kind of dark and stormy and funky Pacific Northwest. So I thought we'd check it out.
Awesome, that's it.
Okay. One of my favorite things to bring all my new clients to here is the falls. I think it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's so picturesque, the scenery itself. I love it.
It is. So right down here we've got the main falls.
Okay.
It falls way, way, way down there. The water is really flowing at a high rate today because we've had a lot of rain in the area. And it's really beautiful. From these windows right here at the Salish Lodge, you can have a really fantastic meal. The Salish is a high-end luxury boutique hotel.
Very nice.
No, just find the light in honesty, 'cause I've never been good at telling stories. Yeah, we're gonna ride this wave until it breaks. We're gonna drive all day. We're gonna ride this wave until it breaks. All I know, yeah, all I know.
All right, Barb, this has been a beautiful experience. Thank you so much for showing me this.
You're welcome.
I'm excited to see what else Seattle has to offer. What do you got for me?
Next, we're going to head down to Seattle on Lake Union, and we're going to hit up Gasworks Park. I've never totally understood why it's so famous, but it is where we have our 4th of July fireworks every year, and everybody loves it.
Okay, I'm down to check it out.
Okay, let's go check it out.
Welcome back. We're taking you on a tour of one of the coolest locations in the United States, the Pacific Northwest. One of the great things about this show is you learn all about the cities you thought you already knew. I mean, I had no idea Twin Peaks was shot right outside of Seattle. Next up, Barb is taking us on a tour around Gasworks Park. Check it out.
All right, this is pretty amazing, but what the heck is it?
You know, it's pretty interesting. This is an old site of the Seattle Gas Company.
Okay.
And they've turned it into a really popular Seattle park. We have our 4th of July fireworks here.
Very cool, very cool. And it's nice view of downtown Seattle.
Yep, this area right here is called South Lake Union.
Perfect.
And part of the reason they have the fireworks here is it's surrounded by water, so the water's just packed with boats. People come here, they can be underneath the fireworks.
Okay.
And of course, you know the company Amazon.
Of course, everybody does.
Yeah, our headquarters are right down here.
Very nice, and it feels like a movie like Sleepless in Seattle, right?
Yeah,
Got that feel?
Well, you're right. So if you look out here along all these floating houseboats out there, those are the sorts of homes that Sleepless in Seattle were filmed on. And another thing that downtown Seattle is well known for that's fairly unique.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that unique look of real estate, and also just like the atmosphere is a different change from what I'm used to anyway in San Diego, right?
So yeah, I think it's a really cool part of Seattle. It's artistic and edgy and industrial. Oh my God, is that a drone up there?
Where? Oh, yeah.
Did somebody crash their drone on it? That's a piece of equipment to lose. Hey Diane, and this is the house I've been talking about, wanting to show you.
Very nice.
We are up here in Bellevue on Cougar Mountain.
Okay.
And this home is built by the Buchan builders, and they're a real classic traditional builder in Seattle. They do mostly high-end listings.
I've noticed, it's got that classic look to it, right? The vintage, but also traditional form of it.
It's very traditional. They make it just modern enough. With all the great top-of-the-line appliances and fixtures, but in a very traditional mode. But hands down, my favorite space in this house is the outdoor living room.
Of course, nice.
As you know, we're in Seattle and we get a lot of rain. So I think all home builders should put these outdoor living rooms in their houses. It's got
covered all the way through. Oh, that's cool.
Covered all the way through, gas fireplace, gas heaters. And a 48-inch grill with hood system, which is fantastic.
What type of buyer do you see purchasing this home?
My guess is probably a family, something like that. But with the main floor ensuite room, we can also have
like a
multi-generational living.
Perfect.
Which is really big in these, I would say, these days in this part of the country.
All right, Barb, rumor has it that you do something special for your buyers. What is it?
We cater and host our buyers' housewarming parties as their thank you present for choosing to work with our team. I come from the restaurant business, and it was a perfect carryover for high-end customer service, sociability. It's just the highlight of their process, we think. We send out the invitations, we send out the thank you cards, we get to mingle and meet all of their favorite family and friends, and it's really a lot of fun. Sometimes we have a little bit too much fun, but that's how we think we have a great customer base.
Well, nothing like, you're working with these clients and buyers, right? So you get to know them in the process of buying their home. So what better way than to throw them a party in their housewarming party?
We could not agree more. And it seems almost sacrilegious not to take that process all the way through and help them celebrate. We cater it, we bring wine, we bring Prosecco, we do a toast. We even have cute little aprons we've made with our team logo and our names. So we really have a lot of fun with it.
Good for you, that sounds great.
Yeah.
We live just at the trailhead of one of the many trails that run along Cougar Mountain. And you walk among huge maples and evergreens. Maple leaves as big as your head, they're just giant. This home, which sits on Cougar Mountain, 1,000 feet above Lake Sammamish, and with a beautiful view of a 10,700-foot volcano called Mount Baker, which is snow-covered year-round. I love to write thrillers that are really a combination of really good stories, interesting characters, very dynamic human conflict, but also on the edge of science. And the Seattle area is very vital to that, with the University of Washington, with the Primate Research Center, with the very modern architecture that blends in with the very old architecture. It provided a very good setting, and you could really get the feel of Seattle and the surrounding area. But also, it entered into the conflict and the challenges of, trying to move across all those different terrains and meet some of the challenges that we set up in the book. You could almost feel the oxygen levels go up and the stress levels go down. And that is how I would sell Seattle to someone just coming in.
That house is so cool. Right up on the hill overlooking Lake Sammamish, that's got to be one of the best locations on the block. It just has such a thriller feel to it. It all makes sense as to why Steve Hadden chose that location. Speaking of which, if you haven't seen his novels, go check them out. I know I will. Who doesn't love a thriller? Next up, we're checking in on one of our partners in your area. Hit it.
And it's always a good time to talk real estate. Our guest today on The American Dream out of Charlotte is Michael Wong, who's a realtor at Keller Williams and the Redbud Group. Michael, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of
Diane.
course. So I like to talk about the real estate market in general. How is it looking like in Charlotte?
Well, during the winter time, most buyers and sellers are focusing on the holidays, so things tend to slow down. That said, year over year, inventory in the Charlotte market region has gone down substantially. We're at 2.4 months of inventory in the entire region, which is still very, very low. It's still a seller's market.
Well, what should new home buyers be aware of coming into the new year if they're looking into the market to buy a home?
You know, taxes are always a big thing. Anybody that's closed after September 1st of this year, taxes would usually have been paid in closing, but then anywhere from January 1st to September 31st, you probably would have gotten a tax bill. Hopefully you've escrowed that money over time, so it doesn't really hit your budget because the bank pays it for you. But if you haven't, it can be a big tax liability there that you'll have to pay as of January 1st. So I would just make sure to check on that, to make sure that the county has the right parcel for you, and just to make sure that you have that either escrowed or have the ability to pay for that at the beginning of the year, because that's when it's due.
And that's actually an interesting point you had mentioned leading into taxes, right? And the next question, a big revaluation for 2019. Can you talk more about that and elaborate on that?
So Mecklenburg County does a reval for real estate every 8 years. Now, the last one was done in 2011. The next one coming up is going to be in 2019. So all homeowners within Mecklenburg County will get a letter in the mail in January stating their new assessed home value. Now, because the rate of growth in the Charlotte region, those values are expected to rise over 40%, which could probably be a shock to most people.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of that is that they've been getting the tax benefit over the past 8 years, and now with this revaluation, all that the county is doing is just making sure that taxes are reflecting the actual value of their home at one given time.
Are you foreseeing that to be, I guess, to make a dramatic impact in the sense of buyers in the market? Not so much sellers, but maybe buyers in that stance?
We'll have to see. This initial letter is essentially just the assessment. Then government and city council meet probably during the spring and summer to rearrange the rate. But I think it will essentially get more expensive here in Charlotte to own a home just due to those changes in taxes. Now, if you did want to argue the valuation, there's actually a website which you'll have there that they can go online and question the value of their home and go through the proper channels to make sure that it's assessed in the correct manner.
Always helps to be well educated in that regard once you get into real estate, right? You have a property to highlight, I understand.
Absolutely. I have a new property coming out for the new year. It is in the Steel Creek subdivision in Charlotte. It's a hot area. The house is move-in ready, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, close to shopping, close to the highway. It's going to be a really good one.
Sounds good. Well, good luck with that one. Thank you, Michael, for all your real estate advice. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to American Dream. We'll catch you again soon.
Take it all in. The hearts have spoken. Let it begin.
Hey, Mark.
Ready to fly?
We're ready to fly.
Right.
How's this going to go? Can you tell us how this is going to go today?
You're each going to be tied together with a professional certified tandem instructor.
Good to know.
One-on-one. You're in front, the instructor's in back, and you are going to fly off this mountain Poo-Poo Point in Issaquah, out into the blue yonder.
You ready?
I hope I don't poo-poo my pants. That's all I gotta say. How high are we?
We're at 1,700 feet over the valley, 1,800-foot mean sea level. It's a beautiful view today. It's a great day to fly.
The sun came out for us. We're pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Thanks so much for let's do this.
Barb invited us here to jump off of this cliff, so we're all here together right now.
Waiting for that
Frozen,
moment.
but loving it.
We're gonna repay the favor by having Barb come out to our party tonight, Controversy, Beyonce vs. Rihanna. And we're gonna dance all night long. Yes, this is Black Gatsby, and I'm Disco Shrine.
She's so extra right now.
And we are.
That last part. Cut that last part.
I'm Disco Shrine, and we are signing off the mountain like, hey.
Nope, won't, couldn't, I can't. Jump off a mountain? Diane, major kudos to you. I'm proud beyond words. While I catch my breath, we're sending you over to another expert in your market. Let's go. Welcome back to The American Dream. I've got a great guest with me today, Valarie R. Brooks. She's the broker owner of Valarie R. Brooks Real Estate Company with Love Charlotte Homes. Valarie, great to have you on the show.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks, Cara.
Of course. So usually we're talking to you about your expertise in the real estate market over there in Charlotte. But today is personal. I want to know what's recently happened to you that most people would think would never happen to them.
Well, thanks, Cara. Being that American Dream goal is to empower, engage, and educate, I wanted to talk about identity theft. I am a victim of identity theft, and there's been a driver's license, a passport created with my information on it, and the picture of a woman that's certainly not me. They've used this passport to open P.O. boxes across states. They've also used this passport and driver's license to try and get checking deposits accounts. They've called checking companies to try and get checks created. Some of those mailboxes, they've tried to have my mail forwarded to from my mailbox. They've spoofed my email address, and they've also spoofed my phone. But they are very relentless, and I think that it's a good thing if everyone would be careful and pay close attention.
Absolutely. This is something that's terrifying that could truly happen to anybody, and nobody wants it to, and nobody knows if it's going to. But now that this has happened to you, what advice do you have for people just to make sure that they're paying attention to prevent this from happening to them?
You really need to pay very close attention to your emails. Do not open emails that you're not aware of. Also, if you were to open an email and if the email says this document was sent to you, do not open it if you're not familiar with it. Think about it. If somebody's trying to get in touch with you, and if indeed it is a document, they have other ways to get in touch with you. Also, there are ways that they're using your telephone. They will call your telephone with a number that looks pretty familiar. If you answer the phone, they won't say anything, but when you hang up, don't call them back, because when you call them back, that's the way they're spoofing your phone.
I just learned something really great. I had no idea, so that is very, very helpful. Now, say it does happen to somebody, you know, their identity does get stolen. What steps can they do to take to fix it?
Well, first of all, you need to be an advocate for yourself, and you need to find all avenues of ways to prevent as well as to recover. The Federal Trade Commission has been very helpful to me because they give you information on ways to prevent identity theft as well as how to recover and to stay ahead of identity theft. The Federal Trade Commission, I would also freeze all 3 credit bureaus and make every institution that you're involved with aware of what's going on with you.
Wow, that's really great advice, and I appreciate you coming on and being vulnerable and sharing that with everyone, because you are right, you have to be an advocate for yourself, and I appreciate you helping people try to protect their American dream as well. So thanks, Valarie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thanks so much for watching The American Dream. We'll be right back with more.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now. Ain't backing down. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do. Won't stop doing what I do. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what
This makes me want to move to Seattle. It's awesome and it checks all the boxes. Scenic, Twin Peaks, jumping off mountains, beautiful parks, and some of the coolest nightlife. Sign me up.
won't stop doing